Murray, stutter step in a drive, throws it back over to Nikola Jokic. Jokic left side of the midcourt circle, more than happy to kill time with 35 seconds left to go in the ball game. Now he beats Cantor, gets down the lane. Euro step and a dunk with 2 hands. And the Nuggets lead it by 7 with 31 seconds to go. His 19th dunk of the year.
That's Jason Kosmiski right there on the call. Oh, man, that thing had me jumping up, screaming, yelling at the TV. The great drive, Euro dunk from Joker in a 40-plus point performance in a win last night. And joining us right now for his weekly appearance on the show, he is the head coach of your Denver Nuggets, Coach Michael Malone. Coach, how you doing?
Morning, guys. How you doing?
We are great, Coach. We're fired up you're here with us and looking forward to the conversation. I don't want to start with Joker, but we got to talk about Joker. I want to start – now, Coach, I've yet to make my NBA coaching debut, and I'd like to key in yet. But I don't want to tell you how to do anything, Coach, but I would guess one turnover is a formula for success.
Yeah, it's funny. Throughout the game, I kept on looking down at all the stat sheets. And, it was 10 assists, 1 turnover, 15, 20, 25 assists, 1 turnover, obviously an NBA record. I believe they started keeping the turnover stat around 1984. So to have that record is tremendous, and obviously that was a big part of us being able to get that win. We had stretches where we struggled to score the ball, but we weren't beating ourselves, and that's been an issue as of late. And obviously in the fourth quarter, it was Jamal Murray time, and that was fun to watch as well.
Yeah, it's such a great point, Coach. I thought to somebody either last night or this morning, as it's not just the low turnovers, and that's huge because that's possessions. You don't get an opportunity to make a shot, make a play, make something happen. But as you just said, especially on that road trip, the points off the turnovers, that's what kills you. It busts momentum. It gives the other team sometimes, especially if it's up at the top, too many easy points, and that helps destroy defenses.
Oh, there's no doubt. Obviously, I think coming off that 4-game marathon road trip that we just got home from, I think we were giving up probably a little over 20 points a night off of our mistakes. And that makes it really hard to win on the road or at home against anybody because you're fueling their break. You're giving their offense life off of your miscues. And last night, obviously, that didn't happen. For example, that third quarter, neither team could score. Both defenses were playing well, missed shots, but we didn't turn the ball over to give them. They were struggling to make shots, but when you turn it over, to your point, Scott, you give them a chance to get runouts, easy ones, get to the foul line. So taking care of the ball at a high level is really paramount to having success. And last night, obviously, was a historical example of that.
Coach, I love the intensity your guys played with yesterday, and I know it's been something you worked on with Nikola Jokic, kind of the emotions during the game, but I'm a fan of that technical he got. Cantor was getting away with things. What was the conversation you had at that moment in the game towards that end of the second quarter with Nikola Jokic and the referees?
Well, to be honest, Nikola wasn't even – he didn't get the tech because of complaining about a foul call. I think Nikola got that tech because he was – really upset. I haven't seen Nikola that upset in a while at the referee for something that had gone on as they were going down the court. And Nikola took it as a big sign of disrespect from the official. And that's why he went at him the way he did. But Nikola, the best part for me about Nikola is, yes, 41 points. He was aggressive, looking to shoot the ball 32 times. But what I love about Nikola Jokic, just a selfless superstar, is that in the fourth quarter, while he's on the bench and Jamal's got it going, he's the guy up on the bench waving his towel and urging Jamal to continue playing at a high level until he gets back in the game. And that's what I love about Nikola. He doesn't care who's scoring. He just wants to win. He's not a guy that's chasing stats, trying to strengthen his MVP cause. No, he just wants to win games, and he was so supportive of Jamal, and I love to see that from all of our guys.
Talking to Coach Michael Malone, his weekly appearance here on Hastings and Dover. Coach, I want to ask you about Michael Porter Jr. as well. Did not shoot the ball very well, but you had some high praise, some good things to say about him with contested shots and rebounding. And you said that you like where he's at right now. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, if you look at the last 10, 11 games, obviously I think we'd all agree that Michael hasn't shot the ball the way that we've all come to expect him to shoot it. And more importantly, the way he's come to expect it of himself. He has a very high standard that he, places for himself, and I love that. And he's always disappointed when he doesn't play to the level that he's accustomed to playing at. But what I like about Michael's game last night is that it can't always be just about making or missing shots, because if that's the case, you're going to have a lot of tough nights in this league. But I think Michael Porter understands the importance of being a complete player. He scores 12 points, but he led us with 10 rebounds. He led us with 12 contested shots. His defensive awareness and discipline is just getting better and better, and he's becoming that complete player that we always talk about. So he's going to have nights where he's going to score 20, 25, 30, and there's nights where he doesn't, and Jamal and Nikola are carrying us. He's got to find other ways to impact the game, and I think he's done a pretty good job of that as of late.
Another guy that semi-impressed me, and he's still a young kid, and he still doesn't know how to play yet, but he's learning. I loved the don't give up attitude of Zeke Naji, who, and you mentioned this in the post game too. Listen, Carmelo's one of the greatest mid-range pull-up footwork. I mean, some of that footwork, I'm sure you watch the film or going to, some of the footwork is, you used to teach it in all the basketball camps, jab step, rock, jab step. And he was making shots. But the second half, Naji stayed right there with him, challenged him, and in that fourth quarter, I think he missed his last 3 or 4 shots, and each one of them were challenged by Zeke.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, Scott, because, what a great learning opportunity.
Yes.
Experience is the best teacher, and you get a chance to go against first ballot Hall of Famer and one of the best one-on-one players, mid-range players that the league has seen in a really long time. So Carmelo, he scores 24 for the game, 19 of those in the first half. And even though he was getting scored on, and we switched it up, we double-teamed a couple of times to try to throw Zeke a lifeline. But Zeke was right there. Carmelo, that's what he does. But Zeke, he never shied away from it. He never got down on himself. The coaches, his teammates were all just kept on supporting him. And you need to go through those, trials and tribulations. Those are rites of passages that all young players have to go through to learn the league, and that's how you get better. And Zeke has a tremendous attitude, tremendous work ethic, and for him to go out there last night off the bench around 24 minutes, 10 points, 3 boards, hit a couple of threes, with all the injuries to Paul and Jamaica right now, these are invaluable minutes and moments for a young player, 19-year-old Zeke Naji. So really proud of Zeke's resolve, staying ready, and contributing to the cause last night.
And just real fast, I don't even know if he understands yet. This is one of y'all's rivals. And I think anyway, they're Northwest Division team. They're a great team. Well coached. And he's in the game in a 3 or 4 point game with 4:50 to go. I don't even know if he understands yet the moment he was in. He was in a big moment of that game.
And a lot of young players don't understand that, right? Until they reflect upon it, look back upon it. But, as I've said, injuries are a part of the season. So not having a Gary Harris, P.J. Dozier, or Paul and Jermichael, as I mentioned, your starting power forward and backup power forward, no one wants to go through that, but it's a part of it. Well, how do you handle that? And the experiences that guys like Zeke, Facu, RJ, who did not play last night but has been playing, those experiences are invaluable because now as we move forward, that towards the end of the season, hopefully into the playoffs, hey, we can throw Zeke Naji out there. He's not an unknown. He has been tested this year, and he's got an opportunity, and he passed with flying colors. So it allows you to look at your bench a little bit differently and your young guys a whole lot differently.
Well, Coach, on that bench, you got Will Barton and Isaiah Hartenstein. What's their role? It's good to see Barton get that floater in the fourth quarter, but what's their role for this Nuggets team?
Well, Will's starting for us, so he's not coming off the bench. Will played 31 minutes as a starter last night. But Isaiah Hartenstein, a guy coming off the bench, along with Facu and Zeke last night. Isaiah's job is to come in, and obviously I think one of the hardest jobs in the NBA is to be Nikola Jokic's backup. And I'm sure Mason Plumlee could attest to that. Mason was phenomenal for us. But that Nikola's going to play damn near 36 to 38 minutes a night. So that gives you 10 to 12 minutes a night to go out there and impact the game in a positive manner. Not the easiest job, but Isaiah, one thing I love about him, he stays ready. So if I ask him to come in and play, hey, you got 2 minutes and 50 seconds to close out this first quarter, one thing, Isaiah's going to go out there and play as hard as he possibly can for 2 minutes and 50 seconds. He's going to screen for our guards. He's going to roll. He is a guy that is a dynamic roller, puts pressure on the rim, which opens up layups for him, but it also creates threes for his teammates because people have to account for that roll to the rim. Case in point was our first play of the fourth quarter. Facu hit him with a dime in the pocket, and he gets the dunk. So we start off that fourth quarter on a positive play.
Yep.
And then he's got to be a rim presence. He's got to offer length at the rim. He's got to communicate as the anchor of our defense. And I think Isaiah's done a really good job of backing up, in my opinion, the MVP of this season.
And you know what he learned from the game before, that listen, you got an elite passer in Facu. When you roll, you better keep your eye on the ball, or you're going to hit you in the head.
Yeah, exactly right. I think I even said that when we signed Facu. I said, guys better keep their eyes open and hands up because Facu's going to find you.
And Facu gets a turnover, and meanwhile the ball hit a dude in the head, and he didn't see it coming. Come on now. Come on
there.
now.
Shoot the ball, Facu. Come on, man.
Coach Malone with us. Couple more minutes for your time, Coach. And actually, this is the last one I got for you, but a two-parter from me. Jamal Murray. First part, what's been the difference the last 5-6 games? And the second part, how much do you like? Is it by injury? Do you want him to play off the ball with a guy like Facu and maybe even Monte at times?
Yeah, well, you look at the last 8 games. We're 5-3 in our last 8, and during that stretch, I think Jamal is shooting lights out. I mean, he's averaging close to 30 points a game during that 8-game stretch, 50 from the field, and close to 40-something from three. So it's been tremendous to watch him kind of get going. Last 5, for example, 59 from the field, 55 from three, 90 from the foul line, 6 boards, and 33 points per game. And so now this is what we had in the playoffs, right? This is what we had down in the bubble. You had a two-pronged attack with Nikola and Jamal, both those guys playing at a really high level right now. And then the other guys got to kind of fit in and do their jobs. And that's what we've had as of late. So I love the fact that Jamal has found his rhythm. And more importantly, I think he's looking to be just a lot more aggressive, not turning down as many shots, committing to his shot, and shooting into a very big basket. But the other part of that is it's not just the scoring and the efficiency in which he's doing so. It is the rebounding, it is the playmaking, and it is being a lot more locked in on the defensive end. And that's what we expect of Jamal. So last night he celebrated a big win on his birthday, which is great. And we have, I think, 5 more games going into the All-Star break, starting off with Washington tomorrow night. So hopefully we can continue to find a rhythm going into this much-needed and well-deserved break in about a week and a half.
You know what? And also, you talked about starting this conversation with the one turnover and all that stuff. And I've said this on the broadcast a couple times. You got to make just a simple play. I mean, everybody loves the Facu, flip it behind the back, no one sees it to Zeke, and he hits a 3, and you're like, we celebrate that. I understand. But sometimes if I get pick and roll and I see a guy over, I need to stop, pivot, turn, bounce past Nikola, and let him hit a free throw jumper. I mean, because the more success you have being simple opens up the floor for a lot of other stuff, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. And I think, to your point, yes, there is the oohs and the ahs, the no look, the behind the back. And sometimes, hey, you know what? There's nothing wrong with a two-hand chest pass. There's nothing wrong with a bounce pass. And making we always talk about it, make the early pass, make the easy pass. Don't over-dribble. Don't dribble into a crowd. If I come off of a pick and roll or if I drive the ball into the paint and somebody's open, make the early pass and make the easy pass and make sure that pass is on time and on target. And obviously last night we did it at a high level, but, we need to improve a lot in that area because we've given life to a lot of our opponents off of our turnovers.
I got to tell you a quick story because I know you know Hubie Brown, and that was my first coach in the NBA my rookie year. And we had a 2-on-1 fast break, and I think one of the guards was also a young player. And he goes behind his back to try to make that little cool pass. We're in Madison Square Garden, and turns it over. Boom, timeout. And you know Hubie. He goes, hey, next time you think about going behind your back to make that pass, go ahead and just shove that ball right up your. And he started so calm. Hey, next time you think about going behind your back with that basketball, just shove it right up your. And he just goes off. But that's true. Take the simple, get the points, win the game.
Yeah, I mean, simple plays are going to win you games. It's when you try to get a little bit too fancy, too cute, that you get yourself into trouble. And we've had countless examples this year where we've had fast break situations, numbered breaks that we haven't converted because of our inability to make the simple play and finish at the rim. Now, I'll say on the flip side of that, that would be like telling Pistol Pete, Jason Williams, White Chocolate, or Facu Campazzo, listen, you've done this for 15 years, but now I want you to come back and just be, better basketball, the simple, fundamental play every time. You have to give guys freedom. Obviously, Nikola has a flair for passing. Facu has a flair for passing, and within reason. Now, when that gets out of hand, hey, Facu, you've got 1 assist, 4 turnovers, take care of the ball, and he understands that. Nikola understands that. But, I also think there's a part of the game where certain players have this, like Facu is a fan favorite because I think people see here's this small guy on the court a lot of people can relate to. But more importantly, I think it's also because they see, man, this guy's exciting to watch. His playmaking ability, how hard he plays. He doesn't give an inch on defense. I mean, those are things that people from all walks of life can really relate to. And that's why I've always been a huge Facu Campazzo fan because that guy plays with so much heart and passion every night. You can't help but love the kid.
Hey, Simons don't want nothing to do with him after that game.
Yeah, I love that.
He took his cookies, man.
That's right.
I'm telling you.
Coach, great stuff as always. We appreciate you making time for us every single week. Best of luck moving forward against Washington and the rest of the week, and we'll catch up next.
All right, guys. Appreciate you having me on,
See you,
man.
Coach.
Take care.
You
Thanks,
too.
Coach.
There he is, Coach Michael Malone. He joins us every single week right here on Harris Hastings.